Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. Early on a Monday afternoon, I have book club later, so I'm dashing to the tarot table to do some readings because in particular I want to look at this behavior of Harry's at the polo in Singapore. Some very cringe moments which people have picked up. And I'm just going to have a quick look at that, and then we're going to look at the story about William winning America in the polls. I have, for this first reading, the Shadowland tarot on the tarot table because we're dealing with shadow type of behavior, physical behavior, grabbing people, invading their body space, making them very uncomfortable, doing all kinds of cringe things. Some of the clips I found so embarrassing I didn't want to watch them. I had to force myself to look because of secondhand embarrassment. I was just shuddering all the way through. The moment in question, arriving at the polo, and then I think it was Dan Carter, very famous New Zealand rugby player, all black, not somebody that you would invade his space and grab him by the boobs and sort of wrestle with him and tickle him. And Dan Carter, if it was Dan Carter, please correct me if I'm wrong, but was having none of it, blocked Harry and then forcibly put him in line and sort of pushed him in position. Then there was the very cringe moment when Harry grabbed the trophy from Nacho at the end and I wouldn't give it back, and then insisted on being in the photo, and then they had to share the prize instead of admitting that Nacho's team actually won the polo. And then after the polo, and sorry, I lost my voice at that moment. After the polo, there were little groups of people gathered on the polo field talking, and Harry was mooching around, trying to join them and being ignored. People literally ignoring, turning their backs on him, carrying on their conversations. And he ended up kicking the grass and mooching around like a teenager, a surly teenager, and picking up bottles that, I assume it was water bottles that people had left on the grass, looking really forlorn, lost, unwelcome, shunned, very publicly shunned. Shades of that moment while the royal family was waiting for the final private service, family service at Windsor Castle for the late Queen. And nobody would talk to Harry. The men all turned their backs on him and carried on talking to each other. And he was left mooching around by himself. So we're there at this point. And I'm going to have a look at it with the Shadowland Tarot. I want to know who he thinks he is really with this kind of behavior, because it's very weird behavior. It's very infantile behavior. It's very private school behavior. A lot of people would say. And he was accused of being a bully. He was accused of being very bullying, intimidating, harassing people even. There is a rumor that the harassment went into rather sexual areas. Always have to be a bit cryptic here with this machine that scans everything. And I have read on that, and it did look like there was some quite dodgy behavior there. And he doesn't seem to have grown out of it. He doesn't seem to have realized the level of inappropriateness. So I want to know how he perceives it. I want to know how other people perceive it, because even Nacho looked embarrassed, looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. And I want to know if there's underlying cruelty, bullying elements in it. And I want to know if this behavior has got or will get Harry into any form of trouble. That's why I'm doing the reading, because it's the kind of behavior that is really frowned on nowadays. It's harassment instantly when you do something like that. Particularly if you decide to do that to a woman, it can get you into all kinds of trouble. But it's very dangerous. It's really just socially unacceptable nowadays. So if it was acceptable in his circles when he was growing up, possibly it was. Nowadays, absolute no. So I want to know the consequences of this behavior for Harry. So a little reading, 5 cards. The Shadowlands is shadow behavior, your bad behavior, basically sort of vulgar, boorish behavior in this case. Bullying and cruel, possibly, and of course tarot for fun and entertainment, or just opinion, my opinion, or speculation. I'm not diagnosing, I'm not doing mental health things, nothing like that. And we'll see, I've got a disclaimer in the box below. Reading energy here, of course. We've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. That's an interesting card to come out as our underlying energy for something like this. Because it's somebody with a lot of energy, but it's energy, we'll take the rest of the cards out the way, it's energy that's being misdirected. Fiery energy, sexual energy, libido drive, competitive energy, but it's being misdirected very, very much. Doesn't know what to do with it, doesn't know how to control himself, doesn't know how to direct that energy at all. And it's very interesting. He's known to have a very bad temper. He was known to cause trouble when he was little. Quite cruel behavior, bashing into his RPO's legs with his little bicycle and things like that. It's there. Can be quite violent because it's Wands, very fiery, very aggressive energy. So, of course, my opinion. Let's have a look at the actual situation we're dealing with here with Harry, who thinks he's being so fun. And we've got the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is all about emotions and about trying to connect with people emotionally and endear yourself to people. It's a little above juvenile, so it's grown up. If it was Page of Cups, it would be him as a boy, but now we're Knight of Cups. He's turning 39 next month, 15th of September, while he's in Germany at the Invictus Games. He's turning 39. It's not really behavior you expect from a 39-year-old, is it? But there it is, Knight of Cups. That's that behaving still in a too juvenile manner for his actual status as a prince, but it's trying to be fun, trying to ingratiate himself. I think he's all out campaigning to win back the hearts and minds and to try and endear himself to people. And look, I'm the fun one. I'm the one with no airs and graces. I'm the down-to-earth fun prince that everybody loves. There is that. It's emotional manipulation. The Nine of Cups. Trying too hard. How does he perceive this behavior? How does he think himself? I'm the Star. There it is. Normally the Star is a lovely card, but here it has a sense of ego. It has a sense of celebrity. I'm the most important person here. I'm the highest status person here. I am the one who is the star. You are all here because of me. Never mind, as I say, Nacho is a very famous sportsman in his own right, very accomplished. Dan Carter, extremely famous sportsman in his own right, very highly regarded. But Harry thinks that he is the star. He is the leading light in this whole thing. The world revolves around him, of course. And so no boundaries, no sense of humility here. So he really does think that he is just the absolute bee's knees as far as this goes, and so there wouldn't be any restrictions on his behavior in his own mind. He thinks it's what gives him his star quality. Even worse, I suspect. How do people perceive it, the people on the receiving end of this inappropriate behavior? Quite bullying, quite aggressive, quite boorish behavior. How do they feel when they are exposed to it, when they're subjected to it? Nine of Wands in reverse, don't like it at all. Nine of Wands is, well, it's telling me a whole lot of things at once. Nine of Wands is the card of boundaries. And of course, when it's in reverse, he's literally crossing boundaries. He's invading their personal space. He's making them very uncomfortable. It's literally the perfect card for this kind of behavior, because it is, as I say, about everybody has their own personal space. Everybody has their own distance. There's the things that they're comfortable with. I know in my social circle, there are people I can hug and there are people I can't hug. They don't like being hugged. They don't like that kind of contact. We're all aware of it. We respect each other's boundaries. But this is now somebody who's invading their space, disregarding their boundaries, making them uncomfortable. The second layer of energy in this card is, of course, the bandaged head in the Nine of Wands. That is somebody who has potentially got some sort of mental health problem, some sort of personality disorder. I'm not diagnosing, I'm speculating, amateur opinion here, of course. And they, I think, see it as, oh, he's got a problem. That's the way he is. We're not comfortable with it. We don't like it. But you can't do anything about it because there is some problem underlying issue that can't be addressed, and you've just got to deal with, grit your teeth and deal with it. And you could see Nacho literally gritting his teeth at some moments and cringe, and oh my goodness, there he goes again, and have to just cope and have to smooth it over, almost like he's got to have minders around him to undo the damage after he's left the trail of destruction in his wake. Somebody's got to go around afterwards and smooth things over with people he's offended. And he's in cultures, he's in parts of the world where you don't behave like this. You really don't. Might go down quite nicely in other parts of the world, but not in Asia, and not in, certainly in those very polite social circles in Asia. You just don't do that. I'm making a vast generalization, and I apologize to anyone who feels that I am lumping everyone in that enormous part of the world together. So tell us about hidden, shadowy kind of elements to this behavior, please. Things like bullying and cruelty. What is going on beneath the surface with this behavior? I can see that there is misdirected energy here. I can see he's trying to endear himself to people again and be popular in the fun prints. I can see there's ego here and sense of status, very high status. I'm the star. What's going on beneath the surface in a shadow sense? That's an interesting card. 7 of Wands. And look, she's shown up. And really, she wasn't even in my mind when I decided to do this reading. And I think about it always, I meditate, and I write down questions, and I try and get into the energy. She's shown up. Very interestingly. She's shown up in the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is the card of having to defend yourself from attack. The card is showing up quite a lot. It's interesting when you do readings regularly, day after day after day, you get themes, you get energy that repeats. And the 7 of Wands is energy that's repeating at the moment. And that is somebody who feels they are under attack and having to defend themselves. And when it is in the reverse, they can't defend themselves. They feel vulnerable. They feel like they are being bullied and attacked and can't defend themselves. And my speculation, it's my speculation, very amateur opinion here, armchair psychologist, is that he's being bullied at home and attacked at home, and he's taking it out on other people when he is let off the leash and he's allowed out. He does behave, he behaves like that because it's all this pent up energy here. And we're not going to get Freudian with this Ace of Wands in reverse, but there's this huge amount of pent up energy in this man that he can't express in normal ways. And I think at home he is cowed and broken and beaten and bullied and intimidated. That is my opinion. I'm speculating. And so it's taken out when he gets these moments when he's in the limelight and the claw isn't there, the nails aren't digging into him, he's not being repressed and silenced and criticized and put down. Very interesting, very, very interesting how damaging this relationship is for both of them, in my opinion. It's why we're here doing tarot, and why so many other people are also, and all the other commentators, body language and all the rest of it. It's fascinating. It's fascinating because it is so faulty. Consequences for him. As I said at the beginning, this is the kind of behavior that can get you into a lot of trouble. It can get you accused of all kinds of harassment. The tricky kind of harassment, apart from anything else. Is this behavior going to get him into trouble? Or is he going to wake up to the inappropriateness of it? What's going to happen? We got the 2 of Wands in reverse, and that's interesting because it's plans going awry, partnerships failing, relationships breaking down. And it could actually break up friendships, partnerships, deals. this kind of behavior, if it's noted, if it's seen to be inappropriate, his works with charities could come under threat, because people in those charities could say, he makes me uncomfortable. We're in that Me Too climate of people now, if they voice any form of discomfort, if they say he triggers me, he's making me uncomfortable, I don't feel safe around him, I'm not accusing him of doing anything inappropriate. I'm saying, yeah, just to be very clear about it, I'm saying that this kind of behavior can get you into trouble, even if you have no intention going along with it. If you're just being over friendly, over touchy-feely, it can get you into a lot of trouble. It looks as if it could cost him deals, it could cost him brand type of opportunities. People could back away and say, I don't want to be associated with someone who behaves like that. It could also cost him at a personal level. There are potential relationship implications here. If he's out on the dating scene in future, women might say, no, he makes me uncomfortable. And I don't want to be around that kind of behavior, especially from a man who's now a middle-aged man. Why is he behaving like that? He needs to grow up and he needs to stop. It's strange energy. We've got a lot of wands in here. Not surprising, given the kind of behavior that we're talking about. A lot of wands. They have all come out in reverse. All the wands. Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, Seven of Wands, Nine of Wands. It's somebody who has got enormous anger issues that sit under all of this. Enormous anger issues. And frustrated, doesn't know what to do with his energy, has never really learnt what to do with his energy, never been channeled, never been focused. It's dissipating. I think I've got the wrong word. But it's energy that's not focused. It's all over the place. He's all over the place. He's all over everyone at this point. That's your reading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.